Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, my name is Orlagh, and today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the kind of 5 side effects of Invisalign, things that ended up happening that I didn't necessarily expect. So if this sounds interesting to you, then just stay tuned. Okay, so I've finished my Invisalign journey now. It took about 15 months, I think. I'm going to do a separate video detailing my whole experience, so do subscribe if that sounds interesting to you. It'll be out in the next couple of weeks. So now I'm in the stage where I just need to wear the retainers for 2 months every day, and then I can switch to nighttime only use. So that's kind of where I'm at. So if you're about to begin Invisalign, or maybe you're just curious about it, or you're in the middle of treatment, or maybe you finished treatment, that is the stage I'm at the moment. So the first thing that I noticed that I wasn't necessarily expecting were facial changes. So obviously you're moving your teeth, you know, you're gonna experience a little bit, maybe, depending on kind of the structure of your teeth and how kind of crooked they were or in what position they were previously. But for me, I've experienced 2 kind of changes that I wasn't necessarily expecting that have been really good. The first of which being cheekbones. So I found kind of about halfway through my treatment that I noticed that, I think because I had quite a narrow bite before, and the whole point of my Invisalign was to fix the gap in between my teeth and bring them together and down a little bit, and also to widen the arch. So I found that because of that, it's kind of given me a little bit more bone structure, which I'm very happy about. I did have cheekbones before, but they were kind of hiding a little bit. So I've noticed that, and especially when I look at pictures, I mean, it's something I do notice in the mirror, and of course I'm wearing makeup, like I do have bronzer on, which obviously accentuates them too. But even when I'm makeup free, I have noticed that I have more definition here. And the second facial change I've noticed that I was kind of expecting maybe a little bit more is my top lip is now a little bit fuller than it was before. Again, because my teeth were crooked and they went in, I think previously my top lip didn't have like that much to like sit on top of, I guess. And since aligning the teeth and bringing them kind of a little bit more forward or into their correct position, it has made my top lip slightly plumper. I don't think this is necessarily something anybody else would notice. It's something more that, you know, I've obviously lived with my face for a long time. So, you know, those kind of minute changes, you look in the mirror and you're like, do you think this is different? And someone's like, not at all, but you can kind of notice yourself. So that was nice as well, because I do have a thicker or like a fuller bottom lip, so it was nice to kind of even that out somewhat. So yeah, so maybe you'll experience some facial changes too. You know, it isn't necessarily guaranteed, but that was the first thing that I wasn't expecting that I did notice. Part of my problem was that my tongue wasn't in the correct position, which basically was pushing my teeth in angles they weren't meant to go in. So part of my treatment did also involve like, I can't remember what they call it now, but like learning the correct position of your tongue. So I did that, and now my tongue is in a correct position, which is great because it means I'm no longer going to kind of, especially at night time, like push my teeth with my tongue. And if you're not sure of where your tongue should be sitting, when your mouth is resting, your tongue should be on the roof of your mouth, touching all the way back. And there is something called mewing, which kind of went viral like a year or 2 ago, and it's all about how the correct placement of your tongue can affect your facial shape and the tone in your kind of face. So maybe that links back to the thing I said previously in number 1 about cheekbones, that maybe that's affected it a little bit too. But I did learn where to put my tongue in the correct position, and the effect that this has given has been I sleep a lot better. So previously I was definitely a mouth breather. A mouth breather, I guess. I don't know why that's so funny. Not really so much in the daytime, although maybe, I don't know. But at night time, I would often wake up in the night with a dry mouth and have to take a drink. And that was because I wasn't breathing through my nose properly. And basically, as soon as you put your tongue in the correct position in your mouth, it's kind of impossible to breathe through your mouth. You have to breathe in and out of your nose. So this has basically led me to having a lot better quality sleep, which is brilliant, because I'm not waking up in the middle of the night like, why is my mouth like the Sahara Desert? Oh wait, it's because you're breathing with your mouth open. So that's a really nice side effect of Invisalign that I really didn't expect, which is obviously brilliant because, you know, sleep is so important, and I don't know about you, but if I don't sleep enough or if I'm hungry, I just revert to my childlike baby self and get really cranky. So yeah, that's number 2. Okay, so number 3, a side effect which, unlike the other two, is actually a bit more negative than positive, is I notice now I get food stuck in my teeth more often than before. And you might be thinking that shouldn't be the way, because why would that be the case if your teeth are now in a better position? Should that really happen? But for me, I had a lot of crowding. So on my bottom teeth, they were kind of very tightly packed together. And then in the top, I had a gap. So obviously no food's going to get stuck there because the gap was big. And I do remember going to the dentist when I was about 15 and him saying like, yeah, your two front teeth are, you know, crooked, but you know, the way your teeth are lined at the back, you have a really, and he inserted a medical term here, I can't remember, but basically that he said I could eat ribs, no problem, or like corn on the cob, no problem, because the way my teeth were fitted together meant I was really unlikely to get food stuck there. And I remember being like, thank you very much, but still feel very self-conscious. So now that my teeth are straight and aligned in the kind of correct position that they should have been, I'm finding I get food stuck in my teeth more often. And I'm guessing it's because they're not so tightly crowded and packed in together anymore. So for example, I had a corn on the cob the other night, and honestly, like to the point where maybe even if I was on a date or something, I wouldn't really want to eat anything green. I went for brunch on Saturday, like the Saturday just gone, and I had like this like falafel bowl. It was really nice, and it had kale in it, and I was sort of like haha to a friend, and I was like, do I have something in my teeth? And she was like, yeah. And then I looked in the reflective part of my sunglasses and it was like green, 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 green. So that's a bit of a pain in the arse, I'm not gonna lie, but obviously I'd way prefer to have aligned teeth and have to deal with that. I floss anyway, so I mean it's nothing too terrible, but it is something I didn't necessarily expect. And in case you're watching this thinking, does that mean it's like bad? Do you have gaps that shouldn't be there? No, apparently it's just that because we've widened the arch and all of those things and they're not as densely packed in together anymore, that I'm just gonna have more time with food stuck in my teeth. So yeah, not great, but you know, we roll with the punches. Okay, number 4, I know a lot of people talk about food and diet and things like that with Invisalign. I'm not going to talk about that because, to be honest, like, I didn't notice any increase or decrease really, but what I would say is I've noticed I've been eating more mindfully, and by that I don't mean like whether the food I eat is like calorie rich or calorie dense or nutrient rich and all of that kind of stuff. I mean in terms of meal planning. So before, I was somebody who would obviously have like my 3 meals a day and like a snack normally, like around 4 or 5, but because obviously you're meant to maximise the amount of time your aligners are in for, I had to get really kind of good at making sure I stuck to the actual meal times themselves, because if I was hungry and I was out and about, I couldn't grab a snack and have to take my trays out and eat a snack, and then if there's no bathroom I can't put them back in. So I felt I got a bit more kind of routine with meal planning, and by meal planning I don't mean like prepping things and eating at the same time every day and all that stuff. I mean more that I had to anticipate when I was going to be hungry and have food already made. And the great kind of side effect of this, if you like, was the amount of times I was hangry went down dramatically, because I knew, okay, I need to eat at this time, rather than just being like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat now. I was like, okay, in order to have X amount of time with my trays in and out, blah blah blah, I have to go to work here and I'd have to do this there. I ended up kind of creating more of a structure, which was really good for my day, and meant that I didn't end up being hangry, because I was always, if anything, I was kind of overeating to compensate for the fact I couldn't have a snack if I got hungry. So yeah, I guess more mindful eating was a side effect, if you like. And number 5, this is something I really didn't expect at all. Obviously Invisalign is supposed to be invisible, but if you have a lot of attachments, it can quite easily be not so invisible anymore, even though so many people I see on a day-to-day basis didn't even notice I had anything on my teeth. I think we're also concerned with how we look, but because everybody's concerned with how they look, it means they're less likely to actually look at you, because they're kind of in their own head with all of their own stuff going on. But for me, I felt better with the trays in, because when I had the trays out with attachments, sometimes they felt a little bit sharp, or maybe even when they'd smoothed down a little bit, I still felt a little bit like, I was more aware of them, whereas when you have the trays in, they kind of almost give your teeth a filter. It's like they kind of soften all of the edges, they even like round out or square out the shape of your teeth. Almost to the point now where even though all my attachments are off and I've finished treatment, I've currently, I don't know if you can see on camera, but I currently don't have my trays in. I took them out to film this video, but I feel more, I don't know, like my teeth feel naked. I feel like the aligners give like a shine to your teeth because they're plastic, and also like a fullness. So I don't know, like now my teeth feel skinny and small, whereas with my, and again, I'm not saying this is fact, but it's kind of how I feel. But with the aligners in, they kind of feel a bit chunkier and a bit better. Again, this will depend on your experience, because if you already have quite big teeth, maybe you don't want that added bulk. But for me, it kind of felt like I had some like shiny Hollywood false teeth with them in. And now obviously with them out, like obviously they're still aligned and they're still straight, but I just feel like I need to get used to it. And to be honest, I think that will come when I switch to nighttime only retainer use, and I'll get used to not having them in, and then maybe putting them in at night will feel weird and chunky and all of that stuff. But yeah, like speaking now without them in does feel a little bit weird, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought I'd be like, woohoo, treatment's over, woohoo, but actually I'm a little bit like, my teeth feel naked, which yeah, didn't expect at all. And a little bonus one just to finish the video off, I didn't include this in the top 5 because I kind of did expect this, so it wouldn't be an unexpected side effect, but in terms of confidence, my confidence has skyrocketed. And by that, I don't mean necessarily, like, of course it's affected how I feel about myself. I've always been really self-conscious about my teeth previously and would laugh and with my like mouth covered and everything like that. But I think it's affected more my confidence in how other people perceive me, because I think previously, because I think if you're also someone who was like self-conscious about their teeth, you'll relate. I think I would try to hide my teeth, which would naturally mean not smiling a lot, or if I'd smile, it'd be like a half smile. But now, because I feel really confident in my teeth, I'm smiling more, I'm laughing more, and I think it's made me more approachable. And I've noticed I feel better about myself, but also that I'm projecting that out, which then kind of means people are more like attracted to you, not like in a sexual way, but in like a, oh wow, they seem like a positive person kind of way. And again, I expected my confidence to increase because, you know, again, I'm like fixing an insecurity I had, but I didn't expect it to kind of be such a mood booster, because I smile more, I laugh more, like openly, instead of being like ha ha ha, I'm like ha ha ha. Obviously not that creepy, I'm not Marley and Marley from the Muppets Christmas Carol. But yeah, I think it's really made me feel like I can express myself more. So that wraps up this video. I hope you found it interesting. This whole Invisalign journey has been a roller coaster ride. So let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, or if you're also on any stage of Invisalign or braces, and how you found your experience, and if you've had any unexpected side effects too. So yeah, like this video if you did, and subscribe if you would like to, and I hope to see you again around these parts soon. Thank you very much, bye!